The squat is a staple in most lower body routines, and for good reason, working primarily the quads, glutes, and lower back. Programming this compound movement will mean you'll get the chance to say goodbye to chicken legs forever. Start off by setting the bar at armpit height. Grab the bar using a width that allows you to pull your shoulder blades together, keeping your whole back tight, while having your elbows tucked in by your sides, pointing down and slightly back. This will usually be just outside shoulder width. Step under the bar and place the bar on your shoulders, right where your traps meet your shoulders. Do not place it on your neck. Remember to keep your back tight by squeezing your shoulder blades together while having your elbows tucked in by your sides. The bar should now feel like it is glued to you. A couple of cues that might work for you is to try and squeeze your lats with your elbows, or think about trying to pull the bar apart with your hands. Different cues work well for some people and not for others, so see what works best for you. Either way, the point is, you'll need to keep your back tight throughout the entirety of the lift. A loose back will compromise your squat. Make sure your feet are located underneath your hips, such that if you were to push straight up, you would also lift the bar. Your feet should be pointed to the front or slightly outwards. Pointing your toes inwards is a big no-no. Your foot width will depend on your own anthropometry, so experiment with the bar to see what feels comfortable for you. Shorter people tend to prefer a narrow foot stance, just outside hip width, while a taller person may benefit more from a wider stance. Push through your feet and step back a couple of steps to avoid hitting the bar on the pins halfway through the lift. Whenever pushing the weight up at any point throughout the lift, remember to push using your whole foot. This means through your heels and toes. A great cue for this is to imagine your feet are nailed into the ground at the heels and toes. With your feet set, take a deep breath into your abdominals and use the air to brace. If you have a weight belt, push against your weight belt. This will play a big part in providing you stability for the lift and will reduce the chances of form injury. Puff your chest out, keeping your head facing forward, and drive your upper back into the bar while keeping your back tight. Slowly descend into your hips by simultaneously pushing your knees out in the same direction as your toes, while allowing your hips to drop straight down. Done correctly, this will create a vertical bar path. If you have kept your back tight and followed these steps, your back should be straight. Your back at no point throughout the lift should round. If it does, one of the previous steps was not followed. Descend until your hips are slightly below your knees. A good way of judging this is if you can see the bottom of your glutes in the mirror. When in this position, don't pause the movement, but let the slight bounce at the bottom of the movement help you push yourself back up. Push through your feet, remembering to push with the whole foot. At the same time, drive your hips forward while keeping your chest up. Another cue that may help is, rather than focusing on your chest being up, think more about driving your upper back through the bar. At this point, take another breath and redo the repetition. Note some breathing techniques will have you exhale halfway through the rise. When your set is down, slowly step back towards the rack and slowly descend the weight onto the pins. Since it might take a little bit of experimentation to figure out what stance, grip width, and cues work well for you, I recommend practicing with just the bar until you have a squat that feels right for you. If you are a bit on the smaller end and the bar itself is a bit heavy for you to experiment on, try practicing using a mobility pole. So that's the squat. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, consider supporting us by heading over to www.aerosactive.com and buying something. Your support ensures we can continue to make content just like this, and if you sign up, you'll get 10% off your first purchase.